women like new things. I feel like, I know a lot of women are not going to like subscribe to what I'm about to say, but men in general are much more loyal than women statistically. And I know. Okay, let me back that up, because men are actually slightly more likely to cheat, but generally they're more loyal as well. I know that's like, it sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. Like, men might cheat, like they're a little more likely to cheat, but they're also more likely to stay with you and not just leave you because they found somebody else, which, that could be its own problem. But women are less loyal. They're less likely to cheat, but they're also less loyal. So they'll leave you for somebody else that they think would be better for them. And they're working in teachers working in the school with some other dude that looks just as good as you or better. And they're like, this guy fits me a little bit better. Fits me. All right. How are y'all doing today? Y'all doing good? I'm recording this way ahead of time. It probably won't release for another few days, but that's how it is now. Record ahead of time. Do it like everybody else does it, right? I have poured me a wonderful glass of Jim Beam honey whiskey because it's pollen season, and it helps me. No, Kitty, you cannot have any. I'm sorry. Everybody want to see you. You want to see? Here's Kitty. Here's Kitty. Her name is Abby, and I got her from the Humane Society. Oh, did you sneeze? You got pollen issues too? But yeah, I'm pretty sure she was a witch in a past life. So, today, I just wanted to talk about some stuff, and really it comes down to while I was talking in my last video that I did, I was talking about how when I was in a relationship with the BPD girl, that she accused me of cheating on her, which a lot of people were like, yeah, if BPD accuses you of cheating, then that was what they were doing. Okay, got that. But she used me being a truck driver against me, saying that's how I cheated, was I was a truck driver. And I was like, no, I didn't. So it gave me the idea, and then there was a comment on the video that I did about another profession that is likely to cheat. And I was like, you know what? Well, I guess I had a topic in there where I talked about like different professions that are likely to cheat. So it was like, you know what? I'll just do a whole video on that, because I went online and I did a little bit of research, and I found a whole bunch of like different actually, it's just this list. It's a pretty long list, so I'm not going to go through all this, but it's like the percentages of people in those. You got to chill. You have been fed this time. She's been fed twice. She wants all the attention. It's a pretty big list of like the percentages of people in different industries and professions that will cheat. Now, we have to preface this with the fact that these percentages are not that high, even though these are like the professions where people are most likely to cheat. The percentages are actually not that high. So keep in mind, when somebody says all nurses cheat, that's delusional, because no, all nurses do not cheat. It's actually a low percentage of nurses that cheat. It's just that that's a profession where they're more likely to cheat than some other professions. So I'll start off, like I said, I'm a trucker, and yeah, transport and logistics is actually number 4 on this list. So I'll just start that off. I'm a trucker. Now, I know a lot of people never believe men when they say this, but I have never once in my entire life actually cheated on somebody. I haven't. I've caught someone in the act of cheating on me. I have retroactively caught somebody cheating on me, and I've had friends tell me that somebody was cheating on me behind my back. So, okay, there's that 3 times that I know of. I've been accused of it by insecure women twice, and it's never happened. I just never have, because I'm just, I don't know, I'm loyal to a fault sometimes, and I've talked about that in my past videos, being like a super people pleaser and how much of an issue that became. But anyway, I don't want it to sound like I'm defending myself. It's more that the fact that I'm a truck driver does not mean that I'm going to cheat. And if you're with somebody that is a truck driver, doesn't mean that they're going to cheat. And I think a lot of the things that are on this list are jobs where people work a lot and they work long hours and they work away from home a lot of the time. And they might have a partner that's back home and doesn't see the work they're doing. So that partner at home probably just gets it in their head, okay, they're never here. They're paying attention to somebody else. And that's really insecure behavior, for one. And it really just comes down to being communication. It could be hard if somebody's in healthcare, especially if they're working like an emergency room, they might not be able to talk very much during the day or the night. A lot of people that work night shifts, a lot of truckers work night shifts. So it really comes down to, I believe, that it's easy to get in your head and start believing that something's going on when it's really not. And I'll leave it at that. Actually, I'll take a drink of whiskey. Y'all should start drinking with me. Every time you watch a video, get a drink. Beer, if you drink, So, number one on this actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be something else. Hold on, let me look. I found this list on the HRdirector.com, by the way. But you actually don't see like flight attendants and pilots in here. And I know that's on a list of like high statistics for cheating. I'm going to say that's part of transport and logistics because it's transport and logistics. Okay. But number one, actually, let's go backwards. Let's not do number one because y'all will be like, oh, that's the number one. I'm not going to watch anymore. So at the bottom, it's crazy that they even bothered to put this on here. At the bottom, science and pharmaceuticals. So like scientists, scientists and researchers, 0.1%. Like, why even bother putting that on the list? Business consulting and management, 0.1%. Law enforcement and security. I see this one a lot, like people think that cops cheat a lot. This is number 3, the lowest on the list, with 0.2%. 2%. 2% might cheat. 2, okay? So law enforcement and security, not that high up. So y'all need to get that out of your head right now. Creative arts and design, that one kind of surprised me. Like, I mean, maybe. This whole list seems like every job. So creative arts and design is 0.4%. Media and internet, 0.5%. Is that news? I guess that means news. This one, I saw a lot of people say lawyers will cheat a lot or are very highly likely to cheat. This list proves otherwise. And this is from a divorce attorney with multiple statistics and studies. So law and legal, actually pretty low on the list for cheaters. 0.5%. They're not that likely to cheat. Sorry if you believe it is. Now, of course, if you've been with somebody who was a lawyer and cheated on you, yeah, I get it. But statistically, they're pretty low on the list. Environment and agriculture. Farmers be cheating with the farmers' daughters. Marketing, advertising, and PR. 0.9%. Meh. We're not even at the middle yet. There's a long list. I already did that. Public services and administration. I guess like admin assistants and stuff like that. I don't know. 1.3%. Retail. I've worked in retail before. And yeah, I worked in Best Buy. It's the only retail job I've ever really done. That's 1.4%. Yeah, I can see that as not being very high up because that wasn't a very flirty environment for me. I was also with my ex-wife at the time, so I wouldn't have even cared. Energy and utilities, 1.6%. Okay. Social care, 1.9%. Leisure, sport. Okay, let's skip ahead because now we're going to get into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, top 10. Number 10 on the top 10 is armed forces. So a lot of people think that people in the military, I was in the military for 12 years. The whole time I was in the military, I actually never dated anybody. I never slept around with anybody. And I was with my ex-wife for, I think, the last 5 years I was in the military because we met 2010. No, not 2010. Damn. No, yeah, I got out in 2015. So we met in 2010. I got out in 2015. So the last 5 years I was in the military, I was with her, and yeah, I never cheated on her, and I don't I mean, yeah, people sleep with each other in the military sometimes. And I know that women in the military have this like reputation of being hoes. But for the most part, that's not how it is. It really isn't. Personally, I didn't want to date anybody that was in the military too, just for different reasons. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't see that very much. I didn't see people like cheating very much. Now, my roommate in Iraq, his wife, who was not in the military, was back home, did cheat on him. I want to see the statistics on that because that's common. That is very common, where men or women will go off to war zones, get deployed, and their spouse back home cheats on them. And everybody wants to act like the military is the one cheating. It's bullshit because it's the other way around. It really is. But yeah, armed forces, information technology. So IT, like I don't know if that counts with cybersecurity and software development and things like that. I could see that because it's an office environment, and a lot of these top 10 are office environments and things where you're working with the opposite sex a lot. So it makes sense, right? Information technology, so IT. Armed forces was 4%, so still not high. Information technology, 4.6%, not that high. Accountancy, banking, and finance. So yeah, somebody will comment on the previous video I did and said that bankers are highly likely to cheat. Yeah, it's in the top 10 list. So that's 5.4% with those. Again, makes sense. Male and female bankers. You go to a bank, you're going to see both male and female bankers. They're working with each other, and typically they're going to be decent looking people. I don't know if banks are like doing this on purpose, but like usually the guys in there are kind of handsome, the women are kind of pretty. It makes sense, I guess. You know, you'd be tempted if you're around pretty people all day, then yeah, it could put you in a position to cheat if you're that type of person. Next up, property and construction. That one surprised me, 5.5%. So property and construction. So I don't think that property and construction, like construction workers, probably aren't working with the opposite sex a lot, right? That's like a male-dominated industry. I don't know. I don't know where that one comes from. Maybe I've not seen very many women doing construction. I don't know how that ends up being in there, but I guess it happens. Engineering and manufacturing, again, male-dominated. Not sure how that fits in there. It's 6.6%. Have anybody dating engineers and construction guys and why they cheat? I don't know. Now we're in the top 5. Number 5 for top 5. Hospitality and events management. So, if you have an event planner partner, you might want to be like, hey, check up on him. What are you doing? What are you doing? When are you doing? I don't know. I'm not trying to stir the pot. Yeah, I am. I always am. So, that one's 7.7%. Next one, transport logistics. Like I said, it's number 4 on the list. That's trucking, but also it is like dispatchers who might be working in the office, and flight attendants and pilots and things like that. Yes, they are highly likely to cheat. But again, out of all of the people that work in transportation and logistics, it's only 9.8% that might cheat. So 1 in 10 might cheat. That's not terrible. So again, that means it's not a red flag if somebody's in transportation or armed forces, which is way lower. Next up is the one everybody always says, healthcare, nurses, doctors. And you see a lot of accounts of nurses and doctors being and working in like hospitals and things like that. And they say, yeah, they see that a lot. Like people cheat and sleep around. Okay. Yeah. I think people get it in their head. Like people remember negative things a lot more. So I don't know. You know, I've never really seen it as like a red flag, but also I've only dated one nurse and she was a hospice nurse. So she didn't work in a hospital. So she didn't really I don't think she was going to cheat on me with like a 90-year-old man that was about to die. So there's no worries there. But yeah, I've never dated a nurse other than that. But I could see it. You know, if you got women that are working around guys and guys that are working around women all night long, and sometimes they're on like 24-hour shift, 2 days at a time or whatever. Like, yeah, there's a lot of temptation there if they're the type of person to cheat. So, you know, if you're dating somebody like that, then just stay communicative. And again, I'll try to do a video on maybe looking for like early signs that somebody might be the type to cheat or promiscuous or put themselves in different situations where they might cheat. Next up, I mentioned this one in the previous video too. Teachers. I hear this one a lot. Men and women, they're working with each other all day, day in and out. And that puts them in a position where they're literally are around other men. Like if you're talking about a female teacher, she's around other men way more than she's around you. Of course, there's the temptation to cheat. Let me make sure my mic is still rolling because I can't keep it up at the same time. All right, we're good. She's way more likely to cheat because she's around these other guys way more, and she starts to get. This is how it always works. Is they'll start to get a little more rapport, and they'll start to get more comfortable around somebody else, and they're not thinking about you back home or you at your other job or whatever. Now they got this other new guy on their mind, and I don't know if you would count that as hypergamy, which is a big issue. Yeah. But I think it's just women like new things. I feel like I know a lot of women are not going to like subscribe to what I'm about to say, but men in general are much more loyal than women statistically. And I know. Okay. Let me back that up because men are actually slightly more likely to cheat, but generally they're more loyal as well. I know that's it sounds like a contradiction, but it's not. Like men might cheat. Like they're a little more likely to cheat, but they're also more likely to stay with you and not just leave you because they found somebody else, which, that could be its own problem. But women are less loyal. They're less likely to cheat, but they're also less loyal. So they'll leave you for somebody else that they think would be better for them. And they're working in teachers working in the school with some other dude that looks just as good as you or better. And they're like, this guy fits me a little bit better. Fits me. Don't even come at me with that one. All right. So I said teachers, right? Nurses, teachers. Number one. Sales. I don't know what all that encompasses, but I'm going to assume real estate's in there because I've seen that one before. Real estate women. Typically people in real estate are pretty people. There's pretty women. They're dressed up to look good. The men are dressed up to look good because they want to sell those houses. And they're working in an office with other pretty people. And boom, there you go. So another one, this isn't even on the list, is entertainers. So musicians, actresses, things like that. Of course, they are going to be working around other very pretty people who are very artsy and just like them. And they're not even going to care. I feel like that should be number one. These two I'm about to mention is one is entertainers. That should be number one because they are highly likely to cheat because they're just with other people. You look at these Hollywood relationships, like all it is they're together. Oh, look, they're getting married. One of them cheated on the other, or they both cheated on each other. Oh, they have kids. Oh, they cheated again. Oh my God, they broke up. Oh, they're divorced. Oh, he's going back to the lady she cheated on with. Oh no, that didn't work out. Oh, she's going back to this one. It's just back and forth constantly because that's what they do. They're around these other pretty people all the time. And another one is influencers. So story time. Since I haven't talked as long as I normally do. Story time. The girl that had BPD. I will keep going back to this as I've said before. She ran a growing Instagram account for snacks. So it wasn't about like her body or anything. It was about snacks. She liked snacks, like different snacks. And it had like a good amount of followers. It was like 25 or 30,000 people. And every once in a while, she would post. I wouldn't say provocative, but something that was like inviting attention of her. Like she would post herself, and I didn't really have an issue with that because it wasn't like crazy or anything. But by the time like probably like a year and a half in or so, she had like pretty much quit like putting in any effort in the relationship. And I was like, so you post this stuff on the internet, on Instagram for other people to see and give you validation. Why don't you just send me a picture every once in a while? I feel left out, and she would just jump down my throat about it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you not to do it. I'm not trying to be controlling, and I'm not trying to be like weird or anything. It's just like, why is there no effort to, like, I don't know, like, you guys know what I mean. Like, you would rather your girl send you a picture of herself just to you than to just put it out there for everybody, right? That's what most men like. That means that they're thinking about you and they're just like giving you attention. And that's what she stopped doing. And that's a thing that influencers do in general a lot. I did eventually, she ended up getting a new phone, and we both had like the unlock, like our face would unlock each other's phone. So she could do that to mine, I could do it to hers. And I remember once she had left her old phone in the room with me one day, and she was gone or something like that. But she got a message, and I don't know, for some reason I just picked it up and it unlocked, and it went straight into her Instagram, and I could see the messages that she had gotten from other guys. Now, typically, she wouldn't reply to them because, of course, it's guys. If she's posted something of herself, then guys like jumping down there because she was pretty. And there was a couple where it was like she didn't really shut anything down. She just kind of like kept things going, and it wasn't, I don't know if it was flirty. I wouldn't say that, but it wasn't like we're not going to go there. So this was right before we split up. So I never even said anything. I was just like, you know what? I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. I think that was probably right before I finally told her, like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, people with BPD get tired of you. They don't want to be with the same person forever. They get tired of that person and they want something new. And that's what it was. That's pretty much all it was. And I think a lot of influencers and entertainers, that's how it is with them. They're constantly leapfrogging to somebody else because they get tired of that one person. So that's a problem. That's the list. Not really a list, but oh my God, they have even more. Workplace affairs. Oh no, it's the same ones. Okay. But yeah, it's, I'm not saying don't date people that are in these professions. Again, like I said, even though those professions are more likely to cheat, there's a higher percentage of people in those professions that cheat. I said that backwards. There's a lower percentage of people in those professions that are likely to cheat. It's not a high percentage of those people, but that profession is more likely than other ones. So, like nurses was like what? 15%? I mean, yeah, technically that's a little bit high. What was that, like 1/7 or 1/8 or something like that? I'm really bad at math. But yeah, I can see where you wouldn't want to chance it and just nope out of dating nurses altogether. I could see where somebody, like I said, when I got posted on the Are We the Same Guy or Are We Dating the Same Guy thing, one comment on there was never date truckers because they had posted a picture of me with my truck. And I saw that comment and I'm just like, what? But I actually went and I looked. While I was researching all this stuff, I looked at like, are truckers actually likely to cheat? And it was like, no, they're not. Like, transport's on that list, but I think they really just mean pilots and flight attendants. Because most truckers, we work alone. And I don't think people realize that the insane amount of regulations and time restrictions that we have, we literally don't have time to cheat. We don't have time. And yeah, we have to stop at these truck stops, for 10 hours at a time. There's the chance that we could, I guess. But most of these truck stops aren't in cities. They're in the middle of freaking nowhere. Like the one that I stop at in Nevada all the time, it's in the middle of the desert. There's no city nearby. I did go on a date with one girl in Vegas, and I stopped at a truck stop in Vegas, barely found a parking spot. We went on a date, and nothing really came of it. But that was when I was completely single. So most truckers don't care to do all that. We're just out there trying to make money. And I think that's the case with most obviously that is the case with most people. They're just there to make money. They're just working. And maybe they're doing a job that they love doing. So maybe you shouldn't just look at it as a red flag, but also keep it in the back of your mind. And watch this next video that I'll have to do a research for on how to spot somebody that might be a cheater. And there are signs. So, assess that and then tread carefully. That's about all I got for now. Whiskey time. Y'all have a good one.